Today, we're going to talk about a brand that holds a special place in many watch enthusiast hearts, Seiko. For a lot of us, Seiko was our first love in the world of watch collecting. It's like a rite of passage for any budding watch aficionado. But as much as we love Seiko, I know many of us also had our fair share of heartbreak with the brand. I'm talking about those pesky QC issues, misaligned bezels, finishing imperfections, you name it. It's like getting a love letter with a typo. It just takes some of the magic away. But what if I told you that those QC quirks were a feature, not a bug? Let's get into it. We're talking about QC investment and cost, market segmentation, and brand positioning. Those aspects of the watch industry explain why those problems won't go away. Take a look at this chart. Here's a surprise. Seiko has held value on the secondary market better than Rolex. Look at the green line. That's Seiko. This shows you that brand loyalty and demand for their watches are very strong. And crazy enough, this chart explains everything about the QC problems. Here's why. Seiko has a storied history in the world of watchmaking, and they've managed to carve out a unique position in the market. They cater to an incredibly diverse range of consumers, from those just starting their watch journey with a Seiko 5 to serious collectors seeking out high-end Grand Seiko pieces. But this broad market segmentation also has a significant influence on how Seiko approaches quality control and product development. And it just might explain why certain QC issues seem to persist across some of their product lines. At the heart of the matter is a cost-benefit analysis of QC improvements. On the cost side, enhancing quality control processes or switching to more premium materials like crystal sapphire would incur significant expenses for Seiko. We're talking about investments in new machinery, extensive training for staff, and potentially higher procurement costs for those upgraded materials. And when you're operating at the scale that Seiko does, even small increases per unit cost can quickly add up to a substantial total expense. For a brand that prides itself on offering value at every price point, that's a major consideration. On the benefit side, of course, improving QC could lead to higher consumer satisfaction and a stronger brand reputation. In theory, this can translate into increased sales over time, but for some of their more affordable lines, a bit of character in the form of a slightly misaligned bezel or a less than perfect finishing might just be the price of entry for getting a solid, reliable watch at a great value. You might be thinking, wait a minute, are you saying Seiko is intentionally letting QC issues slide as part of their business strategy? Yeah, I know it sounds a bit crazy at first, but when you dive into the economics of Seiko's manufacturing operations, it starts to make more sense. You see, Seiko is operating on a massive scale. They're churning out watches for a global market with a product range that spans from the humble Seiko 5 to the high-end Grand Seiko or even Crador. This scale has a huge impact on how they approach quality control. Those infamous misalignment issues with bezel and chapter rings, for example, when you're producing millions of units, even the tiniest deviations in machine calibration or component specifications can lead to noticeable variations in product quality. Imagine trying to line up a bezel precisely on a watch and then multiply that process by 1,000,000. Even the slightest misalignment in the manufacturing misstep can result in a batch of watches with slightly off-center bezels. We've all seen it. So have you had any QC issues? Let me know in the comments. Was it enough to turn you away from the brand? Now, Seiko could choose to implement extremely tight tolerance levels in their manufacturing processes to minimize these issues. But here's the catch. Doing so would significantly increase production costs and time. We're talking about investing in even more precise machinery, spending more time on quality checks for each component, and potentially having to scrap or rework more units that don't meet the stricter standards. For a brand that prides itself on delivering value at every price point, those added costs could be a major hurdle. And it's because Seiko is the most integrated watchmaker in the world. Let's talk about another critical aspect of Seiko's manufacturing strategy, their choice of materials, specifically when it comes to the crystal. For many watch enthusiasts, the debate between Hardlex and Sapphire is a hot topic. Some argue that Sapphire, with a superior scratch resistance, should be the standard across all watches. I kind of agree. But for Seiko, the choice between these two materials reflect a nuanced trade-off between durability and cost. Sapphire, while undeniably more scratch-resistant than Hardlex, is also more expensive. The process of producing sapphire is more complex and resource-intensive, requiring high temperatures and specialized equipment. Moreover, working with sapphire at the scale of Seiko's production is a real challenge. Sapphire is harder and more brittle than Hardlex, making it more prone to shattering during the manufacturing process. This can lead to higher rejection rates and increased production costs. That's the problem. For Seiko, the decision to use Hardlex in many of their watches is a strategic choice aimed at keeping their timepieces affordable and accessible for their target market segments. By opting for Hardlex, they can maintain a high standard of durability and clarity as much as you can, while avoiding the added costs associated with sapphire crystals. This is particularly important for Seiko's entry-level and mid-range offerings like the Seiko 5 series. These watches are often the gateway for new enthusiasts, it was for me, and into the world of mechanical watches, and keeping them at an attractive price point is crucial for Seiko's marketing strategy. Now, that's not to say that Seiko eschews sapphire entirely. In their higher-end lineups, like Grand Seiko, where customers expect the utmost in quality and are willing to pay a premium, Seiko, of course, does use sapphire. But for the majority of their production, Hardlex offers a balance between durability and affordability that aligns with Seiko's overall market positioning. That's the key point. Where do you stand on this issue? Are you okay with Hardlex, given the price, or would you pay more for sapphire? I think I would. You might think all this is a very cynical decision, but they've applied this strategy to their entire product line. And it's working. Remember that chart? It proves that people are buying their watches, QC issues or not. So they are not motivated to fix anything. The reason is the cost of quality control. It's a crucial part of any manufacturing operation, but it's especially challenging in the world of watchmaking. Think about it. A watch is a tiny, intricate machine with countless small parts that all need to work together flawlessly. Even the slightest defect or misalignment can compromise the performance and aesthetics of the watch. Now imagine trying to implement comprehensive QC procedures for millions of watches across a vast product line. It's an enormous task, to say the least. Effective QC processes are essential in minimizing defects, but they also come with their own set of challenges and costs. The complexity of watches with their small, delicate components make it difficult to inspect every single detail without significantly slowing down production. One solution is to invest in advanced QC, such as high-precision optical scanners or automated testing systems. These tools can help detect even the smallest of defects or deviations from the desired specifications. But implementing these advanced technologies comes at a cost. It requires significant upfront investments in equipment and infrastructure, as well as ongoing costs for maintenance and operation. Moreover, advanced QC technologies often require specialized training for the staff operating them. This means investing in the development and education of the QC team to ensure they have the skills and knowledge needed to use the equipment effectively. And all of these investments in technology, infrastructure, and human capital can significantly increase the operational costs of the manufacturing process. And for a brand like Seiko, which operates on a massive scale and offers a wide range of affordable watches, those costs add up too quickly. So Seiko has to make strategic decisions about how to allocate their QC resources. They have to find the right balance between investing in QC improvements and maintaining the cost effectiveness of their operations. This means focusing their most strident QC procedures on their upper end models, where customers do have higher expectations and are willing to pay a premium. For their more affordable lines, they rely more on more basic QC checks that are sufficient to catch major defects, but let minor imperfections slip through. It's a sad truth that Seiko has to make these trade-offs, but it's required by market segmentation and brand positioning. Market segmentation is a fundamental concept in marketing and economics. It's the process of dividing a broad consumer market into smaller, more specific groups based on shared characteristics, such as demographics, preferences, or purchasing power. The idea is that different segments of the market have different needs, expectations, and willingness to pay for products. By tailoring their offerings to meet the specific requirements of each section, companies can more effectively serve their customers and maximize their market share. And that's what Seiko is doing. This is exactly what we see with Seiko's diverse product range. They've strategically positioned their brand to cater to a wide spectrum of customers, from entry-level to high-end collectors. On one end of the spectrum, you have the affordable Seiko 5 series. We all love those. These watches are designed for buyers who are looking for a reliable, stylish timepiece at an accessible price point. That's the thing. For this segment, cost is a key consideration, and Seiko meets this need by leveraging economies of scale and accepting, sadly, trade-offs in materials and manufacturing precision. On the other hand, you have the luxury Grand Seiko line. These watches are crafted for discerning collectors who demand the highest levels of quality, finishing, and performance. For this segment, the focus is on delivering exceptional craftsmanship and attention to detail, and Seiko justifies the higher price points by investing more in quality control and using premium materials, although they should improve their bracelet. In between these extremes, Seiko offers a range of watches at various price points, each specifically designed to meet the expectations and requirements of different market segments. That's the thing. From an economic perspective, this segmentation strategy allows Seiko to optimize their operations and maximize, their profitability. By carefully balancing quality and cost for each segment, they can ensure that they're delivering the right level of value to each group of customers. For entry-level segments, this might mean focusing on cost control and efficiency, even if it results in the occasional QC issues. For the luxury segments, it means prioritizing quality and craftsmanship, even if it comes at a higher production cost. Now, this relates to brand positioning, because this approach also allows Seiko to maintain a strong brand identity across their entire, product range. Whether you're buying a Seiko 5 or a Grand Seiko, you're still getting a watch that embodies Seiko's core values of reliability, craftsmanship, and value for money. The specific expression of those values varies based on the market segment and price point. And here's the truth about Seiko's quality. At the heart of this approach is a careful balancing act between cost and benefit. Seiko must constantly weigh the potential advantages of investing in more strident QC, things like increasing consumer satisfaction and brand reputation, against the very real cost of those investments, such as new equipment, additional staff, and more rigorous testing procedures. It goes to the vertical integration that I mentioned before. Moreover, Seiko must navigate the challenges of large-scale production, where the efficiencies of economies of scale must be balanced against the potential quality trade-offs. It's sad, but it's the truth. And they must do all of this while preserving the brand identity and design language that have made Seiko a beloved name in watchmaking for decades. Ultimately, what this means is that Seiko's approach to QC is not a one-size-fits-all proposition. In segments where consumers are highly price sensitive and willing to tolerate minor imperfections, Seiko may determine that the cost of eliminating every QC issue outweighs the benefits. It's a strategic, segmented approach that reflects the realities of the modern watch market and Seiko's unique position within it. And while it might not result in perfect watches across the board, it doesn't. It does allow Seiko to continue delivering on their core promise of reliable, well-designed timepieces that offer a strong value at every price point. So the next time you notice a slight imperfection on your Seiko, remember that it's not only a QC slip, but also a symbol of the complex economic and strategic landscape that Seiko must navigate. It's a reminder that every watch is a web of decisions and trade-offs, a balance of costs and benefits, and a reflection of the brand's unique identity and market position. And in the end, it's this thoughtful, strategic approach, even, with its occasional imperfections, that has allowed Seiko to remain a titan of the watch world for over a century, delivering joy and value to watch enthusiasts of all stripes. As collectors and enthusiasts, understanding this context can help us appreciate our Seikos in a new light, not only as watches, but as embodiments of a fascinating economic and horological story. And that, in a way, makes every Seiko, quirks and all, a treasure worth wearing. I'll see you in the next video.